I don't think
The way she says things sounds kind of crazy.
that's your opinion.
Mental illnesses that happen.
Oh, the neurosis in which she might not be viewed quite as insane in America or in a democratic country. I'm assuming you mean like the culture more so than the location, because like Egypt and North Korea is not that big of a difference.
Right.
But no.
What? Egypt and
What?
North Korea?
Well, I mean,
When you got
North
Asians.
Korea. Okay, yeah, the people look different. I'm just saying North Korea's society is still dominated. I mean, it's dominated by homeboy, but it's also dominated by men. On a low
No.
level.
I
India.
know, I disagree.
Right.
I think it's a little bit different.
India. It's kind of like
You're just grouping all foreign countries, all foreign third world countries together.
No.
All communist countries.
He's.
All communist countries.
All authoritarian.
So
But
I don't feel-
is Egypt considered communist?
Technically,
No, it's
no,
a
but
junta.
it's,
no, it's not communist.
it's incredibly close.
It's a junta
Yeah.
government.
It's
Controlled by a
oh,
few.
exactly. It's junta.
It's
but
junta.
It's about as democratic as Russia. Excuse me. It's about as democratic as like Russia is. The Russia we're learning about. 24-hour voting period.
No, I don't think so. It's a little bit more democratic than that.
Does the example really matter?
They're just
Well.
disagreeing. Good point there.
So how does that affect the understanding of the book? Or
Our
not?
understanding?
Yeah.
Well, I think since we're not from there, it changes the way we think about it, because if it was an Egyptian person reading this book, they might not think about it as sad as we think like her life was. Because it's just normal.
I mean, I really didn't know too much about the culture when I read it, so I thought it was really wrong the way it all happened. So, next one.
You look cute.
Past Egypt, I mean, women were lower than men. There have been a lot of sort of revolutions, sort of things like that in Egypt, and women's rights have had a good part in most of them. And in the 70s, that's when this book took place, like in the 70s, right? At that time, women had some government positions, and most of those were taken away. So it's been sort of the same in the book before that. And now, veiling's still common, and a lot of the men still support gender segregation. There are still many sexual assaults, and women are still protesting for full rights in Egypt. But I think they can vote in Egypt now, so that's all. In what ways do time and place matter in a 1.0?
Then we just kind of talk about the place or the location.
Yeah. Like, do you think the story would be the same if it happened now, like in this time period instead of the 70s when it took place?
No, because they have more rights now than they do then, or than they did.
Do we know where in Egypt this is?
Just Egypt. Right outside Cairo, isn't it?
Was it?
I think we said that about 700 to 800.
I thought it was just, that was the idea. Because that was the only city we knew in Egypt.
Well, she was from Kafar, Tahala.
Right, that's just north of Cairo.
I said just outside. So, it's a small country. Everything's right outside of Cairo. But I think women they have more rights, but still, like to an American reader today, we would see her as being mistreated because they don't have full rights. Women aren't treated equally as men. Or like the balance isn't as close as it is in America.
So, is the treatment of women something that's sort of like just in Egypt, or do you think there are issues everywhere in cultures?
No,
with
no
it?
rights.
I think each culture has its own issues, some are different than others, but as far as like the treatment of women is concerned, I think most countries have women's suffrage.
Okay.
think a lot of the cultures go through like a lot of the same problems. It's just depending on where they're at or what time period they go through. Like evolution, I wouldn't say it, but evolution of a city or something like that. As they go through the demographic transition model, I think that they deal with the situations differently. So like Egypt is going through women's rights different than America did, just because we did a lot earlier and we didn't really have much of a precedent.
But the Egyptian civilization is one of the oldest civilizations in the world.
Correct.
It doesn't mean they're necessarily advancing on the transition model though.
Yeah, look over there.
America just happened to transition really fast because,
Liberal thought.
yeah, we were allowed to think and everyone kept thinking of these new modern ideas. Or we stole it from England. So,
A little bit of both.
yeah. So we advanced through the model. I think faster than any country. I don't know that for sure though.
Yeah, that one cutter. That cutter's loaded.
The one that looks like-
Cutter?
Alright,
What about you?
are you in the country?